The administration has characterized this proposal as part of its broader China strategy. However, it is unclear how this proposal counters growing Chinese influence beyond just giving a large sum of money to the FAS with little oversight. Does the administration still believe this proposal is critical to its Chinese strategy? And if so, then can you explain to us how this proposal counters Chinese influence beyond giving the FAS billions of dollars? With each of you.
Thank you, Representative Hagerman. The underlying item in the compact is our ability to control access to the land, the sea, and air of these countries. As long as we have compacts, we do not let anyone else access we don't like. And that's the key, I believe. And so the compacts are not something we give economic assistance. I would say the most important pillar of the compact is the security aspect. So that without economic assistance, I do believe it's not going to be immediate that China will try to enter there, or our freely associated states will allow that, but it will begin erosion, terrible erosion. And number two, I do believe all these things are a strategic imperative, not just in East Asia or the Pacific, but throughout the globe of the China challenge, will seem a little bit, I would say, will be hard. Our credibility will be hard. Thank you. And let me ask, if I may, Dr. Mohandas to give Pentagon perspective on that.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Yes, Mr. Mohandas, would you please respond?
Thank you, Congresswoman. Fundamentally, as you correctly note, we are facing a profound security challenge from the People's Republic of China. It is engaging in more aggressive behavior. It is expanding its military, and it's expanding its activities throughout the Indo-Pacific in ways that often resort to coercion and pressure against countries in the Indo-Pacific. In that context, it is critically important for the Department of Defense, for the United States, that we maintain a forward presence in the Indo-Pacific to maintain stable deterrence and, if necessary, to prevail in conflict. The access that we receive from the freely associated states is critical to our efforts to do that. As I just noted earlier, we have unfettered and exclusive access in critical terrain in the Indo-Pacific, and this is important to protecting the strategic approaches to the United States, but it is also important to projecting power in this vital region. Without the failure to pass this legislation would be damaging to our relationships with our freely associated states partners, and as Ambassador Yu noted, would be, I think, deeply damaging to our credibility in the region at a time that we are actually have a lot of momentum and are moving forward.
Dr. Mohandas, I appreciate that answer. And I think that that's good information for the people who are watching this hearing and attempting to understand what it is that you have been working on and what it is that we're attempting to do as a task force as well as the committee as a whole. I would echo the sentiments that have been voiced by the other folks on this task force as to all of us believing that this is important, that we are able to enter into these agreements. At the same time, we need to make sure that we are protecting the fiscal responsibility of the United States and that we are moving forward with the correct policies. So just very quickly, Mr. Nakoa, I'm just going to ask you a very quick question, and that is that I understand that the RMI government is asking for additional funds from the United States government. Can you explain to us exactly how much money they are requesting?
Above it, I believe, we just got some correspondence that from RMI a few days ago that characterizes that they are, I believe, willing to accept $2.3 billion that we decided on the memorandum in January.
And how did you come up with that $2.3 billion?
I believe we would defer to Ambassador Yun, but it was characterized within the whole of the entire budget that we're dealing with the FAS.
Okay, Mr. Ambassador, if you could provide just a bit more information on that.
So $2.3 billion is, of course, part of $6.5 billion. We came to it after, I would say, 7-8 months of intensive meeting where I went to both RMI and Hawaii, and my counterpart, Kitlan Kabua, foreign minister at the time, came. This is an amount based on, number one, their need for education, their need for healthcare, their need for environment. I would say those were critical. We also took into consideration the ongoing nuclear issue. Nuclear issue, as you know, United States tested 67 or so nuclear weapons in the late 40s and 50s. And although the legal issue has been settled on the nuclear issue, we also believe that we have ongoing moral and political responsibility because radiation continue and resettlement continues. So to deal with that, we set aside certain amount of money in the trust fund to be expended after discussions with the U.S. government according to priorities of the RMI government. So that's why we came up with 2.3 billion, ma'am.
Well, I appreciate that explanation. I'm out of time. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. We appreciate the work that you've been doing.